Good morning. I'm filming on this beautiful March day. March this year did not come in like a lion. I hope it still will go out like a lamb. But how beautiful the weather has been. And really, in a sense, that works at cross purposes to what I want to talk about today, because I want us to consider the fact that our Lenten journey is supposed to be a little lion-like. It's supposed to be difficult. We are supposed to give up something for Lent, we are told, for spiritual purposes. And when the hunger pang comes or the temptation comes, it's something that we have to overcome. It's hard. We have to really plan for it. Or we take something up. We pick up a spiritual discipline for Lent. And if we do that, we have to do what it takes to carry that discipline out. And that can be a little harder. We have to get set and ready for it. We're called to find ways to make better connections with our family of faith. And particularly after COVID, that can be a joyful thing, but also it can be a difficult thing, because it means giving up some of those habits, maybe sleeping in on Sunday morning or whatever that you had during the COVID time, and reconnecting with your family of faith. And then it means giving and being generous to those who are in need. And it's just easier not to think about them and to try to turn a blind eye to them. So all of those things are tough, and we have to think about it and kind of put our heads towards it. And that really brings me to the kind of quintessential Lenten verse. You may be aware in Luke 9, Luke tells us that Jesus sets his face toward Jerusalem. Jesus knows he has a long, difficult journey, not literally a long journey, but a journey that is going to take him right into death. He is walking into a trap, and he knows it. He is walking into his death, and he knows it. And he is willingly giving up his life and going to suffer greatly for you and for me, for everyone. And so he sets his face toward Jerusalem, because he can't do it just in a casual kind of a way. Lee's family, I think, has this just kind of genetic predisposition. I've seen it in 4 generations of her family, where when they really concentrate on something, they do this thing with their tongue where they just kind of stick it right out of their mouth. And that's when they're really concentrating, and all of their attention and their focus and their energy is into whatever task it is that they're doing. I've seen her grandfather and her father and her. I've seen her nephews and nieces. Every now and again I see Sarah do it, and we've even seen now some of the grandkids that are on our side of the family, our great nephews and nieces. We've seen them do it as well. That's what Jesus does. He is in total concentration, getting ready to move into Jerusalem. And yet, he is not in total concentration in a sense where he is completely downcast and completely upset, although oftentimes he mentions his death. He knows it's coming. It's weighing on him. But there's also a sense of lightness and joy always with Jesus. And one of the things that I did when I began doing these devotionals all the way up now over 2 years ago, I said I want all of these devotions to come out of whatever's going on in my life. It's not enough for me just to get up and figure out what content can I generate for today. And part of what, if you may have been noticing, the last few devotions have been is this sense that as we move into Lent, we're called to do difficult things, and Lent isn't easy, but the idea is ultimately it's going to bring us joy. We don't do the difficult things just because they're hard, and we don't do them in order to make our lives hard. We do them in order to bring joy into our lives and to other people's lives. In the book of Hebrews, we are told that for the joy set before him, Jesus endured the cross. And so let's kind of take those 2 verses together. Jesus sets his face to go to Jerusalem. He's not looking forward to the cross. There's nothing fun or joyful about the cross. And yet he knows that on the cross, not only does he defeat death for all of us, does he literally save all of our lives, but he also takes all of the ways that creation is broken, and he begins to put them back together. It is through his death that, as C.S. Lewis says, death begins to work backwards. It is with his death that all of the redemption of creation begins to happen. And there's a lot of joy in that, because he knows with this sacrifice, as great as it is, he is going to do so much good, and that brings him joy. Likewise, as we engage in our Lenten disciplines, and it's not too late, so if you have not settled on a Lenten discipline yet or didn't pick one yet, go ahead and pick one. Give something up, pick something up, a spiritual discipline, find a way to connect with your community of faith, or make sure that you are generous and kind and giving to those who are in need. Do some or all of those things, even though they're hard, because what they're going to do is they're going to bring joy to other people, and they also are going to bring joy to you. And so my Monday morning devotional today is a little bit of encouragement. Keep up those Lenten disciplines. I mentioned last week, I'd love to know what you're doing just so I have an idea of what's going on. And so shoot me an email or give me a call or send me a text and let me know what you're doing for Lent. And if you encounter some wonderful insights, I sure would love to hear them as well. And so shoot me those as well. We do all of these things, of course, because God is with us. Amen.